Okay, awesome. Thanks. Okay, team. So I had a couple topics in mind, and then I actually recorded a podcast episode on this morning, and so I wanted to bring it to the forefront because I think it's a key of productivity, and I think we probably could all use that, right? Always. So I wanted to walk you through what I usually do that really moves the needle forward. Um, I know that a lot of us have huge to-do lists. We've got a lot to get done. And so some of this is going to be counterintuitive, but I want to invite you to start to practice this. And it really just requires you doing this first before you start the day. So before you check any emails, before you dive into Slack, sit down with a piece of paper. I mean, I'm serious. Like I keep this, like I carry it religiously with me, and write out your priorities for the day. So Michael Hyatt talks about the big three. He's a thought leader in the space on habits and routines. And if you can write out the three things that will move the needle the most for you that day, that are the most important, I would love to invite you all to do that. So write out your big three and then write out the tasks that come to mind that you need to do and ideas that you have and like bigger picture things that you want to talk to, right? Speak to, and keep that list next to you before you dive in. And then what I would love to do, I wake up at some mornings when I can, 5:30, and I will start to work on specific projects, deeper work that takes more time and concentration. So we're talking about writing copy, or talking about strategy, writing strategy, or event planning. I mean, as silly as that sounds, it actually takes a lot of concentration because you want to connect it with the bigger picture strategy and who you're designing for, right? So if you really want to keep those personas in mind and people in mind, you got to do the focus work before you do the execution part, right? So I want to invite you guys, like, that I'm, the one that casts the strategy and the vision, but you all have access to this too. And so by implementing this before, I call it before you brush your teeth, because you know how like those things you won't ever do unless you do it, like literally as soon as you get out of bed. It's one of those things. So if you can practice this just every day, set a timer. I legit have like a physical timer. I actually use it with my kids too, but you can set it and it shows you like how much time you have left. And so work sprints are extremely effective. So if you set your timer and you have your notebook or like do not disturb on your desktop and no Slack open before the day starts, and you work through this, I promise you it will make a huge difference in productivity, and you'll be focused and you'll feel like you're centered and grounded in the work that you're doing, so that you're able to really know exactly what you're after, and you're thinking through the strategy and processing it. Yes, time timer is good. And there's tomatotimer.com too. I love it. And so in 30 minutes, if I'm focused and have no interruptions, I could write like a strategy framework, really in 30 minutes. Like 30 minutes uninterrupted is the equivalent of like 2 hours when you're getting bombarded by messaging. And I know that during the day, sometimes we can't avoid that. So we've got to make some space for it at the beginning of the day or at the end of the day. So I want you guys to determine what that time is for you, your best time. And even if you do it once a week, twice a week, or 3 times a week, at least you're keeping that process on your radar. So that's what I've got today. Happy to give some tips if you guys need more or want to get into specifics on this, because I love this stuff. So thanks.